My name is Stephanie Daniels Wilson. I'm the founder and the CEO of the organization, and we're here to help promote the marvelous film Dreamcatcher, which illustrates the wonderful work that we do at the organization.
My name is Brenda Myers-Powell. I am the co-founder and the executive director of the Dreamcatcher Foundation, as well as a survivor of human trafficking. And I'm here with Dreamcatcher to promote Dreamcatcher the film.
You ladies have worked together in this organization, which led to the making of this film. Is that correct?
Oh no,
No.
we have been together for over 20 years as best friends for oh my God, we met in a treatment facility. Both of us were getting our lives together. And we looked at each other and she walked up to me and said, "You look like a monster." Because I had just been drugged by a guy and I had no face. I had no face. The guy drugged me 6 blocks. I literally had no skin on my face. And then she turned around and said, "I want you to be my best friend. I don't want you to be anybody's friend but mine." I said, "Okay." But she made me laugh and get out of the pain that I was going through. And we've been friends ever since. So this started over 20 years ago.
Over 25
with
years ago.
With a seed planted, because we said when we get our lives together, we were going to do something spectacular. And we didn't know that the seed was already planted for us to do something great. But Dreamcatcher came out of some pain. Stephanie can kind of tell you how it developed, and it was very hard for her before this. And then by me being her best friend, I wouldn't allow her to take this journey without me.
Tell us about the journey.
Wow, how much time we got? Because it's a really long journey, and she's right the way she described the encounter, the meeting between us. We were both in a treatment center, and I grew up in Hyde Park, graduated from college, and then I wanted to use drugs. My parents kept me sheltered. I have never met a real prostitute. And when I met her, and I had heard her speaking in groups and talking, and it was something about her spirit. But what really captured my attention with her is her ability to tell a story. The stories she would tell me at night were so fascinating that I would literally defy the rules, go to her room, knock on the door and say, "Hey, you gotta tell me a story. You gotta tell me a story." And the stories were so remarkable, and the way she delivered them, and the sincerity, the pain, and
Because they were real.
whatever that it was, that it factor, I had no idea that this was going to come to fruition. No idea whatsoever. Of course, we couldn't foresee this. But I knew that this lady who was telling me these stories and who gave me the only birthday present that I received that year, I wore that dress for 15 years. Did you know that?
You did.
Yeah, I
you
did
wore
wear
that
it.
dress for
I
15
wore
years.
it.
But
Tell us about the film and how how the film has helped your organization.
The film has helped our organization
Yeah.
a lot, and she can tell you more than I can because we have two different roles here. I go out there and I go in with the women and and getting the trafficking. But what the film has done is allowed us to how do you say, open it up more.
Well, what the film has done, it's catapulted us into a totally new dimension. I mean, the Dreamcatcher Foundation, the work that we do as survivors, is not only recognized in Chicago, not only recognized in the United States, but we're now recognized all over the world. We're in Turkey, Istanbul, and Antalya, London.
Sweden.
We're going to Sweden, Belgium. We're going all over the world promoting this film and people knowing about the Dreamcatcher Foundation and what we do and how we're helping. But most importantly, we're finally getting the resources we need to reach out and help the population that so desperately needs it. Because before, no one knew that this was going on because no one wanted to talk about it. And I need to go back a little bit because you asked, how did this film come to fruition? How did you meet these people in London? And Brenda talked about the pain that went into this. Well, I have a son who wanted to be a drug dealer, and he got arrested and got a really lengthy prison sentence. MSNBC, and this is on Inside the Crack House. You can look it up. They wanted to do a film on him. They wanted to humanize him because, of course, the media, the police, everybody depicted him out to be a monster. I didn't want to do it. I'm not telling my story to people. But my friend, she said something to me that was very profound. She told me that it was my story and only I could tell it. And above all the hype that I was hearing, I heard that, and I agreed to do the story. Once MSNBC came with the convoy and all the big trucks and the cameras and everything, they thought that my life was fascinating. Oh, well, I go to work, I go to Dreamcatcher, and this is my life. I help ladies. This is what we do. Because we don't want ladies falling victims to the stuff that happened to us, so we wanted to reach back and help. Well, they thought that my life was fascinating. But when they met her, they said, "You guys are incredible."
Right.
One thing led to another, and I gotta talk about Lisa Stevens, who was one of the producers with NBC at that time. She believed in us. She believed that the organization was really making a difference and people needed to know. And she fought to get the money to get the film completed, and the rest is history.
That's great.
So that's how this came to fruition.
Should we bring in Tamika and
That's up to you. This is your interview.
talk about a
Yes.
person you saved?
You started it. I'm sorry about that.
I'm Tamika. I met Brenda in a group home or recovery home for prostitution, and to recover off the street. And since then, I've been with her, working with her, leading me right to my recovery, and she have made an impact on me since I met her, and through my back and forth, and you want to go back to the streets, come back. She been with me, not stop talking to me, but still interact with me, even though I wasn't doing positive, but she stayed with me through everything.
Well, because we don't at Dreamcatcher, we don't want the women to meet us where we're at. We meet them where they at. If Tamika was on the street, I was on the street. If Tamika was inside, I was inside. Whatever Tamika at that point in time wanted to do, I was there for her to do. Why? Because nobody ever asked Tamika what she wanted to do. Everybody had always told her what to do or forced her into things to do. And I just wanted to love her. And she used to say, she understood that. So she would tell me things that she wouldn't tell anybody else. And she found out that we kind of shared the same story. We shared the same story. We shared the same pain. She was looking at me as, okay, so how did you get to be where you at? And how can I get there? Let's just come on with me. I got you. And that's kind of what we do, because we know where the ladies have been, because we've been there, and we know how and what to do to take their hand and just hold their hand until they learn how to walk by themselves, because trust me, they're capable of doing it. If you've been on those streets and you've survived trafficking, you can do anything. Anything is possible, and we know that. So I didn't become adult or someone to tell her what to do. It's kind of like a mentorship. Anything that she said she wanted to do that was positive, or try to say, hey, let's think of something positive to do. And she took her time in doing it. And you can tell that it has now been like a planted seed we're just watching grow now. We're just watching her grow.
Has the film changed your life?
Yeah, since I did the film, actually became a better person. Even though I look back on the film and see how I was, I couldn't tell that I was so miserable, wasn't happy, barely smiled. I couldn't tell her that. She told me all the time, okay, well, Tamika, come on, let's do this. Try to do little stuff to make me smile. But inside, I was depressed and just all over the place. But once after the film, once we did the film and started really interacting.
It was the trust that we developed, because you didn't trust nobody. And you kept telling me, I don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
I don't trust nobody. And it was the trust that we started to develop.
Yeah.
And then she started to say, I'm depending on you to do this, or I'm going to see if you're going to do that. And I stuck to my word, And so, like Steffi and I, we get it's personal with us, with the ladies. It's personal. It's not such a huge organization where they don't get love and personal attention from us. And we try to share that because it's important that somebody cares about you when you feel nobody else does. When you've been out on the streets and you know what it is about. That small little thing can do a lot for you.